Hello, 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 hello. Sweet. We got both online. Okay, good. So we're on here with YouTube, and we're going different directions in the mirrors. That's very strange, but you know what? Here we are. It is what it is. This is a collective reading for our Libra eclipse. My goodness gracious. This will be interesting. Let's see what we need to see. That's true. What do we need to see? Mm-hmm. Three of coins. Three of coins. It's like very silent. I was feeling so much energy before I got on stream, and now I just feel silent. I feel like it's very quiet. It's felt that way outside today too. Oh my goodness. It's felt that way outside today too. Very, very quiet, very silent, very, hi to you too. Hi. Yeah, very quiet, very silent, very still, very like this is a time where we're using our will. Hi to you too. Hey. This is a time where we're using our will and like it's just very still. It's like nothing is really like stirring the pot towards us, but if we wanted to send things out, we could. And that's one of the things I mentioned it in the blog I just sent out. I mentioned it in the podcast for this week that we're in a space of binding contracts right now. And I feel like the vision I see for this is basically like there's this dark blank space. Hello to you too. Good evening. There's this dark blank space where we're really like drawing in, pulling in, what is it that we want? What is it? This right now is about, this isn't so much about creation. I see people more, let's sit and look at that. I see people more like, what is it that you want to bind up and getting detailed? Write it down if you need to. With Venus and Scorpio right now, ruling over the Libra eclipse, and we have Mercury and the dark moon together. This could be something where your words are clever. You ever like made a deal with yourself or like you've like accidentally tricked yourself into something? It's giving similar vibes to that. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Just make sure that you're specific, especially because right now one of the rulers that is over Scorpio is a Pluto and Capricorn. So being detailed about the magic that we want and the magic that we're working in, the magic that we're practicing, it's really important. Hello to you too. Deep in the trenches right now. Valid. Valid. Let's see what else we need to see for this. What else do we need to see for this eclipse? It does. It feels still. I keep going back to that. It feels still. What are you going to do with your will? What are you going to do? Hi to you too. What are you going to do? 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 It's so still. This is like a time of stillness. We're going into a veil, really, is what it is. We're going into a veil. We're going into like this bubble worded space where we could do anything. You could do anything. That's really what this eclipse offers to you. If you could do anything, what would you do? If you could do anything, what would you do? It's probably going to cost you something. Everything costs something though. So not doing that thing could also cost you. So what is it that you're going to do? And is it worth it? The blog that I just sent out to people and wrote out was that magic is one of the most dangerous things I've done. Magic is inherently a dangerous thing. And so if magic is inherently a dangerous thing, what is it that you are putting yourself in the way of danger for? Like, what is worth that danger? If magic is always going to be dangerous, then it's always going to have some sort of outcome. What is worth that? What is worth the practice of that? A crossing. That's true. Let's talk about more of the fundamentals of this eclipse. Okay, so the fundamentals of this eclipse is like really any crossing that you could ask for, any contract that you would want to bind up, anything that anything. And when I say anything, I mean literally anything. Literally anything. Do you want your life to change? Do you want a specific like house? Do you want to live a specific kind of life? Do you want to have a specific sort of people around? Literally anything. Literally anything, okay? Literally anything. Literally anything that you could ask for. This is a time where we're walking into more. And the contracts, like what we agree to on this eclipse, is not something that we can get out of. What we agree to on this eclipse is not something that we can uncross ourselves from. This is whether we like it or not, okay? Because opinions on that, it is what it is. Whether we like it or not, we are, hi to you too, hey. Whether we like it or not, what we bind up on this eclipse and what we bind up in this contract, we are not allowed to take back. Thanks for that. So thank you. We're not allowed to take it back. We are going to be, once we sign up for what we're signing up for, we're going to be pushed through. Once we sign up for what we're signing up for, not only are we going to be pushed through, it's, how do I explain this? it'll be chaos magic. You ever done that? You ever signed up for something and then you're sent through this whole other like storyline and you don't know why you're going through it, but at the end you get what you want? That's what this eclipse is. We're signing up for something that no takesy back. Yeah, no takesies backsies. That's not this eclipse. No takesies backsies. It's a crossing. We're also too experiencing, and this came through earlier when I was writing the blog also. I didn't go too deep into it, but it was like a channeling that started to come in, is like we are in the spinning of fortune right now. Like sometimes fortune turns, sometimes it turns, and then hi to you too. Sometimes fortune turns, and then we have to really like, oh hi. Oh no, you hi, so good. Hi to you too. Sometimes fortune turns and we are like, we can't stop where we want to. Sometimes it's turning and we can't stop. Sometimes it's turning and we can't stop. This time, this is like fortune is turning whether we want it to or not. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna move forward with that? If fortune is turning, what is it that you want for you? I feel like I asked myself this before I got on. I want to pull the Valkyrie cards out. I don't normally do that for my collectives, but you know what? It feels necessary today. We're going to do a Valkyrie spread. We're going to do a Valkyrie spread. What else? Hold on. We're going to do a Valkyrie spread. All right. What is it that we need to see in the Valkyrie? So let's get these shuffled. You know, Wheel of Fortune goes both ways. That's the issue. It's true. It's true. Goes both directions. That's true. Hey, yo, what's poppin'? Hi to you too. Oh, hi. Yeah. So good. So good. So good. Your own brand cards? Yeah, I do. Well, my Valkyrie deck is one that I got for myself and dedicated to Valkyrie, but I do read, actually. I have 2 different card decks on my website if you want to go check them out. I normally don't plug them, but since you asked, you know. Will you marry me? Listen, I've had a lot of conversations about that with myself recently. We're taking me and myself I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break. Thanks for asking though. Let me reaffirm that in the collective spaces. I'm taking a break. Taking a break. I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break. What do I mean by a break? I'm taking a rest. I'm focusing on myself after many people have promised me and then betrayed me. So we're going to sit and rest in it. I don't have space for betrayal right now or even the possibility of it. So I'm just sitting with myself. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Thanks for asking. Oh gosh. I also too, I said this on my last live stream. I want to get these connected because I'm on YouTube and TikTok right now. But me and the streamer life I'm learning. There will be a time of returning where everyone's in the same chat. It just happens to not be today. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So good. So good. So good. All right. So let's pull these. Let's pull a Valkyrie spread. What do we need to see? Talking about, there's people asking if I'm single in the comments. And of course, the first card that gets pulled out, marriage, the 4 of Wands. Oh, goodness gracious. So we got some collective energy within that. Let's see what's up. Because apparently, and last night, and death reversed. Oh, shout out to you. Oh, let the life come through. Let the life come through. That sounds great, honestly. Wow. Yeah. Last night I just had my dark masculine came back and was like, hey, do you remember me? My internal dark masculine came back and was like, hey, do you remember me? Do you remember, you want to come hang out with me? Let's go make some art. So I did. It was great. So let's read this Valkyrie reading. We have keeping the heart guarded and keeping your, not just the heart guarded. It's like you've been through a lot of battles and like the collection of the swords. What we have centered here is the 7 of Swords reversed. So like the way I do the Valkyrie spreads is it's a 3x3. So there's 9 cards total. Also an ode to fate because of the crossings of 3x3. It is. And with the 7 of Swords reversed, curse is reversed. 7 of Swords reversed, oh my gosh. Thank you for that curse reversal. 7 of Swords reversed, we have a 7 of Swords reversed, and with the 7 of Swords, that's true. 7 of Swords reversed means the curse is reversed. Hi, hey, hello. Curse is reversed? Curse is reversed? I'm here for a curse reverse, you know? Oh my goodness. You know, thanks, Muse. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know I've been looking into it. I even signed up for a stream thing, but I just haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet. I've taken steps towards it. It just hasn't happened yet. But it is what it is. It'll happen when it happens. It'll happen when I decide to make it happen. It's really, yeah. Pleased with the curse reversal. Honestly though, curse reversal. Seven of Swords, the curse reverse, the guarding of the heart. The heart is smart and the heart knows when it needs to be guarded. That's true. You can't just walk around with an open heart all the time. I wish we could. I wish I could. You know how much I love to love people? You know how much I love to love people? I really love to love people, but not if you're going to betray me. Not if you're going to betray me. Not if you're going to soothsay me. Not if you're going to be an enemy. Nope. So the heart knows when it needs to be guarded. So even this is true. I feel like, especially now that we have Mars in Cancer, because this is for that. Okay, a reminder for myself and for the space. This is for the eclipse energy. So the heart knows when it needs to be guarded. The heart knows, even if we're not able to explain it, especially with that Mars in Cancer being one of the rulers of that Venus in Scorpio, which is ruling over the eclipse. It's like we know when we need to guard our heart. We know when that guarding of the heart is smart. And sometimes we guard the heart and we can still be in society or talk with people or have conversations, and we can still have our heart guarded and be in relationships. And so it's a discernment that's a very Cancerian of like, what is the guarding and what is the opening? That's very much Cancer. Is like, what is guarded, and there's two sides. What is guarded and what is open? And then we have the Star reverse. This is also a curse reverse, but this is different, it feels like. Okay, so we'll leave that for another space within the reading then. Above the Seven of Swords reverse, we have the Empress. Look up. Look at who you've become. Okay, sometimes we have curses planted on us just so that we can reverse them and gain the skills that we were asking for. You ever done that? You ever asked for something? I'm pretty sure I said that earlier in the stream too. You ever ask for something and then you go down this path that's completely unexpected and it's like really terrible or bad, but you receive everything that you're asking for on the way? Yeah. Okay. Well, did you get what you asked for? Did you get what you asked for? If not, then it's probably about to come through. True. We also have the Eight of Wands reversed here. This is your creativity coming through. Something created years ago grounding now. Something created years ago. That's going to be different for every single person. Could be something that you created on purpose. Could be something that you created on accident. Could be something that you were not aware of that you were creating. Go back and look at other, if you feel like it's necessary. This is something I've been doing and it's coming to my mind right now, so I'll share it. Go back and look at other eclipse dates within previous years and see what dates in your life were important that were correlated with those different eclipses, and see how it lines up if you feel like it's necessary. If not, then don't worry about it. But for some people, it could be worthy homework. I've been doing that and it's been something that's been opening my eyes. I'm like, holy cow, seriously? Whoa, oh my gosh. This is coming from my throat as usual. Yeah, that's usually yeah. Something like your life got to fall apart to make room for the things you asked for. That's something I've been sitting with recently too, is like everything that I've been doing. Thank you, Muse. Everything that I've been doing recently I've been realizing like, oh, all of that had to happen for a reason. So we also have the Three of Cups here. And I really like this deck with the Three of Cups. We have the three sisters singing together. For me, I work a lot with fate and the turning of the wheel. If that's one of the themes for this eclipse, then it's also going to include different fates. The way I work with fate is fate, presence, and change. Those three sisters of fate, presence, and change. So we have the three sisters of fate that are apparent, and also the cup. Like there's things coming up from the well. You gotta get up. This is not an eclipse. Thank you for the clarity. This is not an eclipse of sitting and receiving. You might receive, that's true, but it's not an eclipse of sitting and receiving. You got to get up, you got to work, you got to put in the effort. And it's not just put in the effort either. This is like, if you do nothing for this eclipse, then you are binding yourself to nothing. That is your contract. I don't want anything. I'm not doing anything. But if you get up and practice, then there's going to be things that are coming through for you. Okay. What are you committing yourself to? And also you're allowed to have a guarded heart in that commitment. You don't have to be vulnerable to everyone in your spaces or in those commitments. Like you don't have to go with a fully open heart. If you're open to yourself and you know what that truth is, that's the important part of that commitment. This is a self-commitment, talking about the Four of Wands that came up earlier. And I joked about people asking if I was single in the chat. Okay, so we have this energy of commitment around us, especially with the Venus and Scorpio is like let's break that down for a moment, because that's ruling over the eclipse with the Libra energy of Venus. Libra is the offerings, okay, and then the receiving, offering and receiving, offering and receiving. So, like, what are you committing to for yourself? What are you willing to offer yourself so that you're able to receive? What are you asking to receive, and what is that going to require within your commitment of doing? Right now, they both, like, defining both of those things is really, really important, because you could sign up to receive something and then be required to go do something that you didn't really want to do, or you might be doing something and not receiving what you're asking to receive. So having them correlate right now is really, like, correlate them for yourself. This, one of the other things about Scorpio is that it's literally the study of the will. It's literally the study of your decisions. And so if you right now, like, this eclipse is, what are you deciding? It is time for you to decide. Your decision is imperative, important. That's what's leading this eclipse. This is a really, like, the way that I've been feeling this energy, even waking up today. I know the moon, when I woke up today, the moon was not in Libra yet. Actually, you know what? Is the moon in? Let me check that. Is the moon in Libra now? Are we fully in? We are. It just entered. Oh, so good. It just went to 0 degrees. All right. So moon at Libra and 0 degree. That's beautiful. Let's have a sip of coffee. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Scorpio is like, what are you deciding? And the relationship between Libra and Scorpio, I always find really interesting, because Libra technically comes before Scorpio, and Libra balances the scales. Libra is like, this is what is just. Here is the balance. Here, we've already given the justice. Here's the rewards and the consequences, and everything is balanced again. And then Scorpio is right after Libra, and Scorpio is like, unbalance it. We're going to unbalance it again. We're taking what we want. We're giving what we want. We're unbalancing the scale again, except for with the lunar nodes, they move backwards. So it was in Scorpio where we were taking what we wanted and having things taken from us, and we were offering what we wanted and having things offered to us from other people, very will oriented, decision oriented for several years. And now, oh my goodness, now that Libra, the South Node, has happened, it's like, okay, everything from those decisions and those previous years, it was like 2021 to 2023 is when the South Node was in Scorpio. Now we're coming back and having the scales balanced. So I think it's kind of ironic and pretty poetic too at the same time that the Venus that's ruling over this eclipse, because this is the final eclipse in Libra, the South Node is almost out of Libra. It's leaving in January. That is going to be, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. The Venus in Scorpio, we're like, basically everything that's happened over the previous like 4 years, we're ushering in a balance now. Like, what have you decided is your justice? It's up to your decision. What have you decided is your justice? It's up to your decision. What does that look like? And yeah, what is your decision of it? That's true. Very strange. What is your decision of it? What is your decision of it? Because in this moment, Venus and Scorpio, Libra and Scorpio, they have to work together. The balancing of the scales and taking what we want and offering what we want, they have to work together. And if they don't work together, then we're going to be unbalanced. And this is a part of this commitment to ourselves, is like making sure that they are balanced moving forward. And this is very much what I hear about this is a very like internal relationship. This is very much like based on the relationship with self, and everything else around you, because everyone is going through this. That's another image I've been getting for this eclipse too, is like everyone's going through this, and what we do within this eclipse energy of this Libra space, what we bind up internally and what we are consecrating through this eclipse, we're now going to walk around with like that secret in our heart, and then we're going to make deals with other people who have also made their contracts with themselves. So it's really like, what we do tonight is something we're going to carry with us for a long time. And it's also going to interact with that same essence that people have, you know, the contractual obligations that they've bound to themselves. That's going to be happening for a long time. So what we decide within that tonight is going to really set the stage, or set, I don't know if it's necessarily a stage, like a stage of life, maybe this chapter of life, this era of life, like how we're binding our contracts for many, 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 many years to come. Because this South Node in Libra, oh gosh, I forgot about that until just now. Thank you for that clarity. The South Node in Libra is going to be, when does it return? 2042 to 2043, and Pluto moves back out of Aquarius. It starts to leave Aquarius in 2043. So this lunar node space that we're in, North Node in Aries, Libra, South Node, is conjunct with the moving of Pluto through Aquarius. They exit basically at the same time. So we have Pluto, which is ruling over the eclipse, because Venus is in Scorpio. So we have Pluto ruling over the eclipse. It's freaking crazy, dude. It's a lot of energy. There's a lot of like ancestrally charged energy behind this. Is like, what contracts are you still bound up in ancestrally or have gotten out of ancestrally? Could also be if you're bound to other ancestries such as husbands, wives, children, other sort of crossings with ancestries. There's a lot of different ways that can happen, but to be related there. um, and with that too, what we bind, I'm going to go back to this. What we bind in this moment right now, tonight, is what we're carrying with us. But keep in mind that other people are carrying that with them too. And so if there is someone who's binding up their inner contracts that somehow don't work with what we're binding up with our contracts tonight, then we have to be able to discern for ourselves, is this actually going to benefit me or not? And so this is like a really big turning point of our fortunes, a really big turning point of our fates. It's not necessarily a setting of dates, like it's going to happen on this day or it's going to take this long to get there. It's not that's not this energy. Sometimes that's applicable with different astrological placements, especially when Saturn is involved, because that's the ruler of time astrologically. But even with Saturn being involved with this, it's not necessarily like this date, this date, this date, which makes sense. Saturn is in Pisces, so it's not super articulated or specific. Got it. Noted. But there is the essence of like, no matter how long it takes, this is not a contract that breaks, which is good in the sense that if there were to be any enemies or like forces opposing that, you're still going to be bound to it, even if they try to rip it out of your hands or like take it apart somehow. So it's protective in that essence, but it also means that if you bind anything that you don't want to bind, you're going to be stuck with it. So just be really, really aware of that and take care. Be really aware and take care, because I feel like I've been preparing for this for a long time and it feels pretty good for me. I've had my phone on do not disturb. Nobody talk to me. I got work to do. So that's the energy I'm going into this. I literally like told myself, there's people who have reached out to me and texted me over the previous couple of days. And I was like, no. Remember what happened over the previous eclipse? Like, we're on silent mode right now. So, it is what it is. Let's move back to this. We have the Ace of Swords is reversed here. Ace of Swords reversed. There's like a lot about not being cursed in this. We have the Seven of Swords reversed, not being cursed. Okay. We have the Star was about not being cursed anymore either. We have the Ace of Swords reversed, no longer cursed. Basically, it's like this is a reading for the curse breakers. I feel that. Okay. A reading for the curse. This is a reading for the curse breakers. If you are someone who's been doing curse breaking work, ancestral curse breaking work, could be curses that have been spoken over you, curse breaking work. It could be curses that you signed up for, curse breaking work. There's like, this is a reading for the curse breakers. If you are someone who identifies as a curse breaker, congratulations, because you really actually did the work. Okay. You really actually did the work. And one of the things about these curses that you've been walking through is that death had to come and collect them, that you had to reap them. That is one of the gross parts about curses, in my opinion. This sort of curse, because there's different kinds of curses, but this sort of curse specifically, this like kind of like subsection of curses, is that when you get bound to this sort of curse, it's usually like you don't have a say in it. You don't know, this is the kind of curse where like you were born into it, or you didn't have nobody apologized to you, or like there's just like it's just like the icky gross stuff. And because it had been lingering for so long, you had to become the reaper. You had to become what called it to an end, or what called it to death. And then through those offerings to death, okay, we're not doing this anymore. Here you go, death. Okay, we're not doing that anymore. Here you go, death. But death, the feeling I get from this is like death was going to stick around until it was done, no matter what. So that could have been around you your whole entire life, but you decided, no, we're finished now. We're finished now. Here you go, death. I'm not doing this anymore. And because of that, there's no longer death around you. And I was just writing about this, the new life coming through, like the cost of life, the cost of what you've asked for. There's more. Like, I just feel this, like there's more. You've lived this life of breaking these curses. Okay. Now there's more. There's more. The Star reversed is like your heart. That's, for some people, that's a soul contract. I don't really work with soul contracts, but you know what? If the verbiage came out, there it is. The Star reverses, that's your soul is no longer cursed. Like it also reminds me it's like somebody else sold your soul somebody else sold it. Wasn't you, somebody else sold it. Somebody else was in charge of it for some time. And like also you didn't even realize that someone else was in charge of it. It's not necessarily, it could be somebody in this lifetime, but it's not necessarily somebody in this lifetime. It could be someone who I know in the ancestral work that I've been doing. It's like what my ancestors signed me up for that I had to go through that I didn't necessarily agree to go through and like reap of, you know? So it's partially that, but this is also like what I see is like I just see like this card. Okay, I'll show it to you up here. How there's a star here in the middle. There's a star there in the middle. Okay, I see that as being like a representation. Oh, and I flipped it right side up. All right, cool. No longer a fool. Sit with that when we need to in a moment. What I see is that star essence being like like a representation of symbology of like the soul, your soul. But then I see like these really big hands that are like not human, okay, spiritual hands of some kind, just these really big shadowed dark hands that have that. It's like they're holding on to it, but it's not necessarily, I just see it kind of like floating through the dark hands and like trying to figure out where to go. And it's like finally everything that has been needed to be done around that is finished and through. And so now that can come back to you. Now that spirit, that soul, that purpose, that contract can come back to you. You're not bound to the contracts that you were born into anymore for the people who have been doing the curse breaking work. You're not bound to those contracts anymore. They're done. So like, where are you going now? Where are you going now? Where are you going now? What are you going to do? That's up to you. That's up to you. Where are you going now? And what are you going to do? All right, this one's done. Let's see what else the cards have to say. Wow. That's so good, you know? Oh my goodness. The infinite possibilities. For real though, dude. For real though. Oh, I have a hard time with Libras as a very dominant Scorpio. You know, my Scorpio and my Libra stelliums sometimes clash a little bit, but the energy that we've been in recently, I've been figuring it out more. That's true. I see a lot of water energy that came through recently, just like I think that was in which one was that? The equinox? I think that was the equinox reading that I did, was just like the Piscean waters picking us up and putting us down. That's going to happen a lot next year. So let's talk a little bit more about from now until, when is the next eclipse season? March, and the lunar nodes switch over in January. So now that we're not in that Valkyrie part of the reading was more about the energy of the eclipse itself. Let's talk a little bit more about like future stuff. Then we have the Ace of Cups. Lift your heart up. Ooh, going back to Mars and Cancer, that requires that we activate the emotions that we want to receive. So if you want to receive more love, you want to lift your heart up, it needs to be activated by you somehow. This is also a time to discern between if you need to sit with the like icky, yucky, gunky emotions and learn from them, or if you need to be like, listen, we've done enough work and I get to go enjoy my life. It's a discernment between the two, because sometimes you do need to sit with it and you do need to work in like more of that icky, yucky, gunk place to heal it and get rid of it. But sometimes you have to be like, don't distract me. I have joy to sit in over here. So however that discernment works for you, but this is a time to lift your heart up. Lift your heart up, fill your cup up. And this is again for the next like 6 months. So this is a long reading. That's true. 6 of Wands, something about your bonds. This is not a breaking of bonds. This is what I see is people coming in and like being bound together. Remember I was talking about contracts and the inner bindings and how that's going to affect our other contracts as we walk in the world. Yes. Yeah. There's going to be people that you meet and cross fates with. Oh, whoa. Those words sure did come out of my mouth. All right, cool. Because of the contract that you bind, my goodness gracious, the contract that you bind with yourself through this eclipse, it's going to sign you up to cross fates with other people. So you're going to know when you meet them too. It's like this, you're just going to know. You're not going to be able to explain it, but you're going to be like, I met this person for a reason. And you're not going to be able to understand, especially with the Pluto stuff that is going on with this eclipse. And we also have a new moon in Scorpio on Halloween this year. There's a lot of like the scorpionic energy of just not knowing, but is just like not able to articulate it or tell you the story yet. So you might not be able to tell the story yet, but you're going to know why you cross those people. Also, the people that you make contracts with over the next 6 months to 8 months through that next eclipse season, they're going to be around for a reason. And it's also, they're going to be around for a reason in your change of season, like over several years, they're around for a reason. Not necessarily that the person themselves is around for several years, although most, depends on the person, are going to be, but they're going to be around for a reason in your change of seasons. So because especially with the North Node moving into Pisces next year, we just had a Pisces full moon eclipse. There's a lot of Piscean stuff happening with the North Node. It's crossing over Neptune, it's crossing over Saturn, and then we have a Saturn-Neptune conjunct next year, which I keep feeling like we don't need to read into that energy yet, but I keep bringing it up and talking about it. So just to note, there's important stuff going on with Pisces-Neptune things. And that's a lot of transition. Pisces is the end. It's the accumulation of everything else that we've been through, and we're going into something new. And our previous eclipse season was ruled by Pisces. Both Mars and Venus were in Pisces for their respective eclipses. So like, it's just been this Pisces blast in our faces for like a while and we're still going through like massive transition. And so these people that are coming in, these people are crossing a phase, people that you can relate to, people who are going to be able to relate to you, people who are going to have offerings for you and you're going to have offerings for them. Those are also like contractual exchanges. It could be wisdoms that are offered to you. It could be physical items. It could be tools. It could be whispers. It could be there's going to be some people who are not fully healed. We all have stuff to work on. So where is this verbiage going? It's going to be people who have not figured out how to not take, is the words that I'm hearing, like more specifically. People who have not figured out how to not take. It's like they haven't quite balanced people with the Venus in Scorpio, Libra, justice energy, people who haven't really come into that balance. We're human. Okay. So this is a time also to like offer grace and patience and keep your boundaries the way that they need to be kept for yourself. What I hear is that for some people, if that comes up, if there's people around you who you feel like have not done the healing work, then it's also going to be a space of reflection for you of what healing work do you need to do. So if you're binding up contracts in yourself that for this eclipse that require any sort of like healing, understand that there's going to be people who cross your path who are going to highlight or illuminate the sort of healing that needs to be done, and make sure that there's like patience and protect yourself through the process. It doesn't feel like it's going to be like ridiculously dangerous, but I did just write a blog about how magic is one of the most dangerous things I've ever done. So you know what? Just discernment for yourself as you walk into it, because we all have different practices and we all come from different people. So what else do we need to see? By goodness, by golly. Ooh, that landed in the deck too. Make your decision. Make your decision. Make your decision. Make your decision. Don't let, thank you. Don't let other people make the decision for you. Make your decision. For the binding of this contract, for what you want with your life, for who you're going to become, make your decision. There's not a way for others to make that decision for you. It's only that they would influence your making of that decision. And then if that were to happen, then you would be sitting in the responsibility of letting someone else have the influence over that decision for you. And one of the things that Pluto and Venus ask us to do is to not ever give that sort of power to any other person. And if we are going to give that power to any other person or being or collective or space or organization or job or relationship, okay, if we give that sort of power to other people, then there better be a reason for it. There better be a reason for it. If you're offering that sort of power to other people, there better be a reason for it, because with Pluto, again, it's the decision of the will. So you can decide to do that. But if you decide to do that, then there better be a reason for it, not just because like this could be what I'm hearing about this is like, this could be a space where you spin off into another cycle that you've already gotten out of. So don't let other people make that decision for you, especially if you've been doing the work on self-worth, especially if you've been doing the work on just like self-transformation. This is who you look back at, who you were and how far you have come. Look at how much different you are now. Look at how far you have transformed. Look at who you have transformed into, and give honor and reverence to that person who you are here today. Don't let other people make this decision for you. Don't let this decision that you're contemplating, that you're consecrating, that you're working with about the direction that your life is going to go from this eclipse. Don't let other people make this decision for you. This is a decision that's made for you, by you, with you. And it's your contract. It's not anybody else's contract. It's not anybody else's responsibility. It's not anybody, like, no one else is going to receive the consequences of it, good or bad. It's yours. It's yours. A reclamation is what I hear about that. To reclaim it, like It's yours. It's yours. It's yours. It's yours. It's yours. It's yours. It's not anybody else's. So give reverence to the fact that it is being offered to you. It's yours. Okay, got it. Thank you so much. Wow. Oh, I've been thinking about this card so much recently. So the fact that it comes out now is not surprising to me. We have the Fool, the Fool, the Fool, the Fool, and it landed reverse. Let's talk about the Fool. You don't realize at the beginning how much of a fool you really are. But then you go through the journey. Then you go through the journey and you get to the end. And it's only at the end when you realize everything you've been through and you're able to articulate it that you realize how much you didn't know the whole entire time. It's like the biggest paradox ever. It's such an interesting card because it's technically 0 in our tarot deck. In like the tarot story, the Fool is 0. It's the beginning, it's the end, it's like where we contemplate. And right now we're sitting at the end of that journey, looking back and being like, wow, how could I have known any of that? How could I have discovered it? I didn't know. There's no way I could have known. There's no way I could have known. And look at how you've grown from that too. There's no way. That's how I feel. It's like, the face palm thing. Like, it's like, I just didn't know. There's no way that I could have known. And like giving yourself forgiveness if you need to, offering other people forgiveness if they didn't know better. Sometimes we just don't know better. Sometimes we just literally, we don't know better because we're silly little human children on this earth who just don't know. We just don't know better. We just don't. There's no way that we could. And a lot of the times we have to walk blindly through that. And because it's the Fool also, that means there's a new beginning coming up. But it's important too, in this moment of transition position where we're consecrating the end at the same time that the beginning is starting, because that's how it's not just like a book where you read to the end and then you start a new one. They go together, they cross over. That's a part of the Pluto Pisces stuff that we have going on. And that's how this ending and beginning is really happening. So if you're looking back at these years and years and years of work that you've done to make it to the end, you're not a fool anymore, but you are because you're at the beginning of something new. What have you learned that is going to help you turn into something new? And that's one of the things that came up in the previous reading for that equinox is for the equinox reading is that we're in a place of building right now. We've been through a lot of destruction. Right now is about construction. Where are we going? What are we doing? How are we building? Who are we building with? And it's a building with nurture, not necessarily in the like straight line structured sort of energy. This is more about being in a nurturing energy of like pouring life and Pluto being in Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius is literally the life bearer, the water bearer. So like, what are you pouring life into? That's going to be a part of the building energy moving forward. All right, let's go to our navigation deck and see if there's anything to check, to look at. Oh, yes, several cards came out. Okay. Mother's grounding directly. Oh my goodness. A new ride. A new ride? A new ride. A new ride. Okay, thank you. That sounds great. A new ride. And we have clarity landing in our hands. Clarity landing in our hands. I'm grateful for that message. Clarity landing in our hands. I see like hands out like this and just like something floating down, and they're like, you finally understand. You finally understand. Something's about to land in your hand and you finally understand. You finally understand. It could be you understand everything you've been through. It could be that you understand why you chose what you did. You understand, though. There's an understanding. Open your hand, let it land. There's an understanding to understand. A clarity in your hand. A clarity in your hand. Let it understand. Let it understand. Also the understanding to like understand, to stand under something. The understanding to stand under, understand, let it land in the hand. Then the other cards came out upside down. We can't see it. It's in the darkness. Okay. The mothers are grounding, which the mother energy has been coming up very specifically recently. Love you, the mothers of love, truth, and free. That's true. Mother energy coming to ground very directly, and a new ride is beginning. And what do I mean by ride? Okay. When I work with the term ride in my practice, to go on a ride, like sometimes there's a journey that you go on. It's in a very specific kind of energy. And then you might still be in the same like place with the same people, but the energy shifts. Okay. The energy changes. And you're like, something's a little different here. Something's a little different here. We don't know exactly what that ride change is going to be. We don't exactly know what it's going to feel like, but it's going to happen directly. There's going to be a direct, like, oh, I'm in the new space now. I'm in the new ride now. I'm here. I'm here now. I'm here now. We can't see what that direct shift or change is going to be. And I feel I've done this a couple times in the reading, and I talk with my hands for a reason. I feel that energy of like, it is like, it reminds me too of like you ever seen those two stars when they come together? I don't know what that's called in like astronomy stuff, but the two stars where they come together and they like spin, is that called a nebula, a star nebula, where they spin together? But it looks like that is what I see. And it's like, okay, well, we have this, there's two things that have been coming together for a long time, and they're just going to like shift past each other. We have a new ride happening. Things are going to change. Things are going to shift. You're also going to receive your gift. Thanks. You're also going to receive your gift. There's a gift that you're asking for. There's a gift that you're asking for, especially with the contracts that why would we sign a contract if we don't receive something in return for it? Hey, hello. Okay, I'm not signing anything unless I get what I want. So with the energy of, yeah, for real, with the energy of contracts in this space, that's, what are you receiving? There's a gift. You asked for a gift. It feels like also like for a new contract to be signed, the old one has to go like to end. So like also with the Fool that came up earlier, like we're at the end. We're at the end of the old contract. We're at the end of the old ride. We're at the end of it. And we're not allowed to just be out here with no contracts or any bindings. We're always bound to something. We have a body, which means we're always going to be bound to something. That's part of our like contractual law obligations with being on Earth as a human. We're always going to be bound to something. So we can't just be out here with no contracts, no bindings. So maybe this is actually those two different contracts is what it is. It's like the contract of the old, everything that's been done, and this new contract coming in over the next. It's like, okay, the one date, I'm going to share this again. I was on a chat a couple days ago on stream, but I'm going to bring this back in because it's been coming up for months now. For months, this date has been coming up, October 10th. October 10th. We have a first quarter moon, which I'll be back on doing another stream for that reading too. There's a first quarter moon that's going to be in Capricorn. Pluto's going to be in Capricorn. It's about to go direct in Capricorn October 12th. And that is going to be the time where this transition from the old contract to the new one starts. It's like what has been, and right now they both exist because we have to bind up the new one in this eclipse. But when we have this October 10th happening with the first, then we're done. This old one, we're through. It's over. So really what I hear is take stock. Also like a chicken stock or a noodle, like a recipe, like a brew. Like I say at the end of my videos, brew what you need to do what you need to do, like a brew. Like I see lots of ingredients and like put it in the pot. Yeah. Also, if you're a kitchen witch, applicable. Okay. Put it in the pot. Put it in the pot. It's not to like stir the pot, but put it in the pot. Put it in the pot. Mix it up. Put your new contract together. And make it be clever if you want it to be. You're the one who's in the signing energy. If you're going to put together a contract, I have a feeling I'm going to get off of this stream and just write like a crazy person. Yeah. Put together your contract. Put together your contract. Where are you going? What do you want? Be specific. That's also a part of this, is that Pluto being in Capricorn for this. If we're not specific, then you're going to get what you asked for, but it's not going to be what you really wanted. That's part of Capricorn, and that's part of Saturn. And Saturn right now is in Pisces. Oh, great goodness. Saturn right now is in Pisces, which means that it's like extra trickstery, extra shapeshiftery, extra elusive and illusionary. So if you find yourself, golly, just be super specific. If you are deciding to like go and write up a contract with yourself of like, this is where I'm going to be and this is what I want to do. It also reminds me too, if you've seen the trend on, it's like health motivation gym TikTok that I've seen this on occasionally, the winter arc. If you've been seeing that, that's been coming up on my page, and I'm like, curious that this would be a trend at this time of like what we're going through. And they are saying something about like October 1st, we're starting the winter arc is the narrative that I've been seeing with that trend. But it's similar to that. Like, what contract are you binding up with yourself right now? And what do you want to receive in return for it? And what are you asked? What are you, because the other energy I see about this is like, you might be the one writing up that contract and putting that contract together, but every energy around you and every spirit that's around you is also going to be now, because that's a contract and because the order that you are setting up for yourself, because that's what you're in, then what's around you also then has to like abide by that, or will be like in compliance is also the word I hear. It's like they're going to comply with it. You have to lead though. You have to, and if you need to receive help and guidance from the spirits on your team, like for sure, yes. And also make sure that you're making the decision for you. Don't let those tricksters trick you out of what you want to do. That's a part of the energy that we're under right now. Don't let the trick, I laugh, but that's like real serious. Don't let the tricksters trick you out of what you want to do. Don't let the tricksters trick you out of what you want to do. What do you really want to do? What do you really want to do? Who do you really want to be? And then let yourself be that. Don't let the tricksters trick you. That's Pisces energy. That's Pisces energy. And Pisces energy is one of the most dangerous spaces for tricksters to show up. So if you find there's tricksters around you or you're questioning and you're not really sure about it, what do you want? What do you want? Confront that and write it for yourself. Written, I know I'm going to say and write a contract for myself after this. I'm not exactly sure when, but sometime tonight, because I feel like that is necessary, you know? Necessary. Oh my goodness. That was kind of a quick one, but I feel like we're done. I don't even know how long I've been on, to be honest with you. 45 minutes? Yeah. It was kind of a quick one, but I feel like we're done. I feel like that's what we need to hear today. If you want to go and listen, I did just post the first podcast episode of season 2 for this upcoming week. So if you want to listen to that more about the upcoming transits, for sure it's available. There's also, feels like there's another update, but I don't know that I have one, to be honest. I just put out a blog too. There's like blogs up if you want to go look at those, other resources. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I started a new episode, like course on retrogrades recently. So if you're interested in that, yeah, but that's what we got going on. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. Oh my goodness. What a time to be alive. This is like honestly a crazy shift that we're in currently. So really good. There's also going to be, this recording will be up on, just listen to the podcast. Thank you. So good. This recording will be up on YouTube after it's done. So if you want to go reference it for later, and I'll work on my tech stuff to make sure that I can get everything on one page eventually. No promises on when, but it'll be done. Yeah, you're welcome. Love you guys too. Love you guys too. So good. Oh, so good. Keep doing what you need to do. Happy eclipse. And good luck. Bind it up. Step into your power and step up. That's true. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.